Dear friends, welcome to Think BRICS. Today is a special day for us. I'm glad to introduce you our new collaborators, new faces, new voices of Think BRICS. Euler and Joao Gabriel Pinheiro, both from Brazil. Just few words about you guys. Let me show you to our viewers. Very young, 25 years old, Euler has a background in informatics and programming and graduated in journalism, Federal University of Uberlândia. Euler is passionate about languages, English, Spanish, and Italian, and Russian. Euler, welcome to Think BRICS.
Thank you, Nastia. Thank you all, Think Breakers. Hello there, I'm Heuler Reis. I'm a Brazilian journalist based here in Brazil, and that's why I joined the Think BRICS team to give you all a qualified perspective of what are the most important events and facts related to Brazil, South America, and its relations with the BRICS Alliance, especially by being one of the founding countries of this organization and by being the chairmanship here in Brazil 2025. As a Brazilian, I believe that BRICS is the place where the global south will have its voice and demands better heard, conducting the world to be a better and more just place. It's a pleasure to be here with you, and thank you always for your comments, likes, and audience.
Thank you. Joao Gabriel, 24 years old, graduated in international relations at the Curitiba University Center, focused on the BRICS and global governance. Welcome, Joao. Welcome.
Spasiba, Anastasia. Greetings to the BRICS community. It's a pleasure to be properly introduced myself to you all. I would like to say I'm honored to be a part of Think BRICS, being able to contribute to the debate on the alliance and the struggle against misinformation while providing a Brazilian native's perspective on impactful events to my country, Latin America, and BRICS as well. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Today, Euler and Joao Gabriel will host their first interview. Guys, I'm here just for introduction, and later they will do all the job. Let's support young and talented by views, likes, and comments. Welcome to club, guys.
Hello, friends from Think BRICS. We are glad to have you here. Also, I'm here with João Pinheiro, our correspondent from Think BRICS, and we have a very special guest today. Isn't right, João?
Yes, that's correct, my friend Euler. Today we'll be talking with Comandante Farinazzo, which is a great opportunity for us to explore a little bit more of Brazil's perspective on the BRICS relations, and furthermore, we'll be talking.
Farinazzo is a former officer in the Navy, Brazilian Navy, and he's also a very famous YouTube channel in Brazil in the geopolitics area. That's why we chose to talk with him. And also, Farinazzo talks a lot of BRICS-related topics in his channel. Comandante Farinazzo, thank you for accepting our invitation. And please, share with us some of your views on BRICS. What is the main role Brazil can play inside the BRICS bloc? And of course, welcome João and everyone in our audience.
Thank you, my friends. I appreciate your invitation. It's a great pleasure to me to talk to Think BRICS. Well, I believe Brazil has a huge importance in the BRICS because we are great producers of food, iron, oil, and a lot of technology in aerospace industries. And we have a strategic position in South America and South Atlantic. But my principal concern about Brazil is that we need a strategic planning to assume our role in this new world. I believe Brazil will be very important to BRICS, but Brazil needs a more consistent planning in this role and how to help the other countries of BRICS.
So yeah, Comandante, it is not a secret to people that Lula stands on BRICS. It's a really eager one. We we've been seeing from the latest activity, especially with this year's the announcement of Indonesia as a permanent member of the bloc. I would like to talk about some of your considerations in terms of the ways of Brazil in this year specifically that we are the chair of the presidency of the group, and what opportunities comes from this moment that we are living in 2025.
Well, you have to remember that President Lula is one of the first supporters of the BRICS years ago, I believe 10 years or more. He knows the importance of BRICS. He knows that the unique way to Brazil achieve his development is in a new world, a multipolar world where we have best opportunities to our development. He knows that BRIC is essential to Brazil. But you have to understand that Lula knows that Brazil has enormous limitations in geopolitical talking. We don't have, we are in the South America. The influence of United States in South America is very great. It's huge. It's huge. I have to remember that United States downed a lot of governments in South America in the last decades. Lula knows this. He knows United States can destabilize Brazil and other countries. So he is walking in thin ice. He's trying to build the role of Brazil in BRICS, but he knows that we have a lot of limitation, especially in the new government of the United States. But I don't know if Donald Trump understands all the aspects of this new world, but his Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, talks about BRICS all the days. Rubio knows the size of BRICS, and I believe that Rubio will try to maintain the influence of United States in South America. So I believe that President Lula will need to have a lot of ability to manage this scenario. But I believe that he is the man for the job.
Okay, thank you.
And Comandante, talking about the chairmanship of Brazil in this BRICS Summit of this year, I would like to ask you one thing. It's about the recent members that got into the alliance. We have United Emirates, we have Egypt, we have Ethiopia, we have Iran, this month Indonesia, and other members that already were in the group. And we are a very different group, different countries united under a single group. So, thinking in a strategic way, what are the primary objectives of Brazil inside this bloc so different among itself? And what would be the leading way that Brazil will exert in this 2025 BRICS chairmanship? And in what direction do you think the bloc will advance, having Brazil at its head?
Well, I believe the main role of Brazil in this year will be to establishment a commercial relations with this new BRICS countries, or strengthen their relationships. I believe this is our priority. But you have to understand that 1 year is not a lot of time. I don't believe Brazil can achieve a lot of a revolutionary transformation. I believe that BRICS is walking consistently. Is walking all the days. BRICS makes new advances, and if Brazil just maintain these advances, he will be the country will be making a lot of job. But you have to see that we will have a year of great turbulence, the tariffs of Donald Trump, the markets are trembling. So it will be a year of great difficulties. but I believe Brazil make a good job in the way to unite the countries of BRICS. But one last thing, and that is not less important. You have to remember that BRICS, the countries of BRICS, has a huge number of consumers. It's a huge market. Brazil is looking to these markets. United States doesn't want to lose these markets. So I believe that the bloc that will make the best offer will be in advantage. And you don't have you cannot forget Brazil has a great soft power. I believe BRICS needs to invest in Brazilian soft power. BRICS needs a very best soft power. Russia has a Marvel culture. They have to spread this culture in Brazil. China will need to bring this social media to Brazil, South America. So BRICS needs to invest in soft power. It's a very important. I believe Brazil can make a job in this way, but I don't know if this will be the priority.
Comandante, one question related to this, you could say the role of Brazil as you said, a soft power, as I may say. Do you believe this year, and we talk about this year specifically because we have the Ukrainian conflict that has been going on for years now, and that has affected somewhat the Russian, you could say, the Russian Federation influence on some senders, as we've seen as well, the embargoes that they have been suffering, the political pressure that they have suffered. Do you believe this year, as with Brazil's chairmanship of the group, is a window for us as an opportunity to develop this situation? As you said already, 1 year is not a long time, but do you believe something can be achieved from this year's in Brazil's leadership in the group?
Well, I believe it's a window of opportunities to Brazil. But Gabriel, as I said, the problem is in Brazil, and it's not a problem of Lula, Bolsonaro, whatever the president. We don't have a consistent strategic planning. We don't have. What's the planning for Brazil? We don't have a planning to industrialization. We don't have. Huh? We don't have a planning to strengthen our maritime routes. We don't have a navy to protect our navigation in the South Atlantic. We don't have a policy to South America. We need to have a policy in South America of leadership. Brazil needs to help Venezuela. The way Brazilian managed the request of Venezuela to enter the BRICS was not. Some Brazilian did not see the way Brazilian managed this question as good. I believe Venezuela needs to be in the BRICS. Venezuela is a neighbor of Brazil. It will never change. Venezuela never will let the neighborhood of Brazil will be neighbors forever. So we need to have a good relationship with Venezuela. I believe that in 1 year, if Brazil fix this problem, it will be an excellent job. I repeat for you, 1 year is not a long time, and we have a lot of revolutions in this way. I think Donald Trump, not him, but his Secretary of State and other magnates, and other the hierarchies, the tops, they will try to stand against BRICS. I believe the United States, they don't see BRICS as a good. They see BRICS as a rival. So they will try to, especially in South America, they will try to put his influence. And so in this way, Brazil needs to have a good relationship with Venezuela. You have to understand, Venezuela has the biggest oil reserves in the world. It will not change.
Comandante, you are talking about Venezuela, and in one of our discussions in the channel, especially with our subscribers, one of them brought up the topic about that Venezuela wouldn't be helped so much by BRICS, like it wouldn't add so much to their assets, let's say like that. And one country that would benefit a lot from a BRICS membership or close partnership, let's I say, would be Cuba. We all know that Cuba is under a 60-year embargo, a brutal embargo by the United States against a tiny island. And what's your stance on that?
Well, Cuba needs investment. Cuba needs factories. Cuba needs cheap energy. Cuba needs ports. Cuba needs opportunities to commerce, to export his products. I believe if Brazil, China, Russia, and India makes huge investments in Cuba, it will be a new Singapore in few years. Cuba has the potential. The education in Cuba is very good. They have good engineers, good technicians, good doctors. And the problem of Cuba is, as you said, is the embargo, and it needs investments. It needs money to develop the country. But the most important things, I believe, of BRICS is to build a new alternative finance systems that allow to make investments in Cuba, in Iran, in North Korea, and other in Africa, in other countries of the world. I believe Cuba has a good future. Is a wonderful people. They work a lot. They have a great potential. I believe if the BRICS concentrate their investments in Cuba, it will be a great como é que eu posso dizer, uma vitrine, né? A great a great show to the world, a great showroom of BRICS. Because in 60 years, United States just crashed, that smashed Cuba. It's a truth. It's a truth. Cuba never made harm to the United States. It's a little country. Okay, they never made harm to the United States. So if BRICS makes a different has a different role in this situation, I believe it will be a showroom. It's a very good beginning for BRICS.
Amazing, Comandante. From what you commented earlier on BRICS not being like on the West, actually seeing BRICS as a rival to it, even though we don't see like the BRICS themselves manifesting that idea, they are perceived as rivals, as you mentioned this, and we can say they are rivals to the status quo that benefits them on the world today, and how they present a certain threat to this logic, to this, presenting this idea of a new world, as you also mentioned, over the world that we see today that is dominated by this logic and by these countries. We see the United States and Europe, we could say. To some, the BRICS alliance, so looking for the representation of nations of the global South, they are seen as hope to this change, right? To this, the real multipolar world we are looking for. However, we know that each member of the BRICS suffered different kinds of pressures. We could say, as I mentioned before, with the Ukrainian conflict, we know Russia is under embargo, and China also it's seen as a rival to the economical power of the U.S. and countries in Europe. Among the current members, do you believe Brazil is one of the most fragile to external attacks, external threats in terms of these political pressure? Using your own expression, you say, would our country be like a diseased man of the BRICS, um homem doente dos BRICS?
Yes, I believe this. The question is, Brazil doesn't believe in witches, but they are here. We have a phrases in Spanish. Yo no creo en brujos, pero que los hay, los hay. I don't believe witches, but there are them. There are they. The question is, we don't have an intelligence service that can avoid color revolution. We don't have this. Our economic systems, our financial systems is very fragile. A lot of Brazilian elite has assets in the United States. This asset can be frozen. So the Brazilian elite is handcuffed to the United States. The Brazilian elite loves United States. They admire United States. They admire the United States. They have houses in United States. They have money in United States. So it's a very huge problem. But you have a hope in the way that the Brazilian is a great exporter of food to China, and this will not change. The Brazilian farmers cannot export this huge production of soybeans and other livelihoods to other countries. So they are understanding, and a lot of lawyers too are understanding that the China is our greatest partner, commercial partner. So that the things are changing, but I believe Brazil will receive a lot of pressure. As I said for you, the question for BRICS is soft power. The BRICS almost doesn't sell this idea. Well, I know China. I know the culture of China, the culture of Russia, the culture of Iran. They are wonderful countries. They have a 1,000 years of civilization, but they don't say that to Brazilian. It's true. They don't say. They don't came here and show movies and show theaters and show dances and show books and other things. So this is a problem because Hollywood is here every time. If you go to the Russian embassy or Chinese embassy or Iranian embassy and talk to the door and say, well, look, I have a channel. I want to show your movies. I want to show your dances. I want to show your actors, your shows. But they don't see this. They don't attend to us. They don't hear us. It's a problem. It's a problem. The greatest problem of the BRICS is in the head of the people. Is in the mind of BRICS needs to change the mindset of the West to show this his question for civilization and a better world. I think is the greatest problem. The greatest problem, and the influence of the West in Brazil is very great. It's a great problem. I repeat for you, BRICS needs to develop his soft power.
Comandante, now going to a field
Books of
that
Russia and China. I have a great library of books of Russia, of China, of Iran, and Arabia, and other countries. It's a wonderful culture.
Comandante, now talking about a topic that it's part of your life, the military field. We know that you have your geopolitics channel, the Canal Arte da Guerra, channel Arte da Guerra, for those of you want to find Farinazzo in YouTube. And what I would like to ask you about this cooperation that you seem to be very worried about among the BRICS members is that with Brazilian chairmanship in this 2025 year, what initiatives do you think could be proposed in your vision to strengthen the cooperation in the defense area between the members of this alliance, the BRICS alliance? In special areas like intelligence, military drills, joint military drills, and developing military equipment, because we also have a national industry of military equipment, like Avibras, Engesa, the former Engesa, but Avibras is going the same path Engesa went, and members could help us to keep what we have in military industry and to evolve on that.
Yes, Hiller, but the is a the same problem as I said a few minutes ago. Well, I'll give you an example. A few months ago, China tried to buy Avibras. Avibras has a problems of money, of insolvency, and so on. So China tried to buy. The press made a scandal in Brazil because China is trying to buy Avibras. So the Arabs came here, and the press said, "No, it's okay. The Arabs, they are good." So the problem is we don't understand in Brazil that China and Russia has a great knowledge of military technology. They have supersonic missiles. They have excellent submarines. They have satellites. They have jets, fighter jets. They have bombs, the planning bombs, and other. They have electronic warfare. So Brazil needs to know these technologies, but it's the same problem. When you go to Russians and Chinese and talk to them, well, you have to show your technology in Brazil. They don't hear. This is the problem. They need to show their technology. They need to make showrooms in Brazil, workshops, and a lot of things to show that they have a great industry, advanced industry. They have an excellent technology. I believe Brazil has a great opportunity to learn with China, with India, with Russia. But they need to come here. They need to talk to Brazil. As I said, they need to show their soft power, their power in this way. The great problem of BRICS in Brazil, Brazilian doesn't know BRICS. Brazil just know Hollywood. It's a problem. It's a problem. Every time I worked a lot of years, 8 years in military projects, jets, helicopter, missiles, torpedoes, and so on. So I have some knowledge of military technology. When I said to Brazilian people years ago that Russia is on top, they did not believe. Now they believe because they saw Ukraine. They saw the war in Ukraine. But they did not believe. And why they did not believe? Because they saw Hollywood all the time. And they admired, oh, America, oh, so Private Ryan, Afghanistan, oh, what? It was a lie. It was a great lie. So I believe if Russia, India, China, and Iran has excellent drones and missiles. If they show their products and their military technology in Brazil, they will change the minds of the person. Not just in Brazil, but to all the countries in South America.
Just to deepening a bit on this topic, Farinazzo, then for you, the greatest thing to do is one of the ways that Brazil could exert his chairmanship this year would be to propose to the other members that have these military industries and so on to show it here in Brazil and in other fields like intelligence and military joint drills and make agreements on that. Like, okay, guys, so show up here in our continent, show yourself to our people so people can know that you exist and you have such things, and you can also share your knowledge with us so we can both grow together.
I'll give to you an example that shows you how is the problem of BRICS. Chinese has a series of television that's called Going Across the Yellow River. It's the Chinese version of the Korean War in the 50s. It has, I believe, 40 chapters. Well, we try to bring this series to Brazil to show to Brazilian how the Chinese army fight in the Korean War. Our idea is to bring these movies to translate into Portuguese and to show to Brazilian people. You don't find nobody in China to talk about this problem. You send an email, nobody answers it for you. This is the problem. If you don't talk to Brazilian will not know what you're making, what you do, and excellence in China and the other countries of BRICS. BRICS has a problem of communication. A problem. The problem of BRICS is a communication, and it's not just me that is speaking this problem. Brian Berletic, that lives in Thailand and is a former Marine, and I believe is one of the best military analysts of the world. Brian Berletic, he has a channel, New Atlas, and he said the same things. BRICS has a problem of communication. It has to change. It has to change. They need to talk to Brazil and South America, especially Brazil, because where Brazil go, all South American goes together. Who said this was Richard Nixon, former president of the United States.
You've been recently to the National Congress and the External Affairs Commission presenting to congressmen the national development in partnership with the BRICS. Did you feel goodwill coming from the members of the parliament and the people whom you talk to in respect to this collaboration with our biggest industry, our biggest defense industry, with you could say the nations of the BRICS, seeing the importance of the industrial chain that is activated by this military complex in defense in Brazil, being very beneficial to the economy of any country that is relevant, such as Brazil, and preparing ourselves to the dangers of national sovereignty that awaits us in the future. How did you feel that these people that you've shown, these members of the parliament, behaved in terms of the topic that you've presented to them?
I believe we have a beginning. I believe some lawyers are beginning to understand what's happening, that world is changing, that Brazil has some fragilities, that Brazil can be the other countries can manage Brazil, can close our commercial ship lines, our maritime lines. They are beginning to understand, but the job to build a military complex that attends the necessities, everything that Brazil needs is huge. It's a huge job. Because what's the problem? A lot of person in Brazil, a lot of people thinks, well, we need a helicopter. Okay, so we go to the United States and buy the helicopter. This is not a solution. This week you have the problem of in Colombia, the National Police of Colombia. United States closed the maintenance of the Black Hawk helicopters of Colombia. The same can happen here. If Donald Trump awake someday and he's not very good, he is bad humor, he say, well, today we'll not give maintenance to the Brazilian fleet of helicopter. What do we do? So the problem for Brazil is to change the mindset and build factories here and invest our money, our taxes, and so in Brazil, in building factories. So if China, India, and Russia will offer to build factories here in a joint venture, I believe it will be a good business. But I believe the things are in the beginning. The lawyers they are beginning to understand the problem, but we have a lot of work ahead. We have, well, you have to see. I'm one. I have a lot of partners that are making a job in this way. Dr. Rodolfo Laterza and others influencers in Brazil. But we need mass. We need mass. We need a lot of people talking this. That Brazilian needs a national industry of defense to support our military in the job of defending our country.
Comandante, I would like to recall something you said about Brazil having a special skill and I would say a great weapon on our side that it's soft power. And the BRICS members should invest in Brazilian soft power because we project power in a different way. We don't have a large army like to threat anyone, and I don't think that's never been our motto to threat peoples and to get what we need by threatening and so on. No, it's not who we are, not even in diplomacy, like the way our diplomacy works. And talking about the military dynamics of BRICS expansion, because we have included some countries like Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Ethiopia, Iran, and the UAE into BRICS. And they have their own dynamics, and some of them kind of do not like each other so much. How might Brazil navigate these changes to foster cohesive defensive strategies within this extended bloc?
Well, I think Brazil has a great example of good neighborhood with their neighbor. We don't have problems with any country in South America. It's a good example to the world of civilization, good relationship, and other things. I think Brazil can mediate a lot of conflicts, because our rate, our understanding of the life and of the world. But if you want to spread the soft power of Brazil, BRICS needs his own social media. BRICS cannot depend of the social media of the West because it can be manipulated. And it's manipulated in Brazil. Social media in Brazil, they sell the version of what is happening in the world. Social media in Brazil says that Chinese, Russian, Iranian are bad guys, and American, British, Germans are good guys. And you know that things are not this way. Okay, so I believe to spread the soft power of Brazil, BRICS needs his own social media. But I believe in the next years, a lot of conflicts beyond the BRICS countries will diminish. They will turn smaller, because the countries are going to be more richest. The money is flowing. So I believe the diplomatic solution for these conflicts will gain a lot of size, and Brazil will have a great role in this new way of manage conflicts around the world. Guys, we're going to a new world. Some things that worked 10 years ago will not work in the next 10 years. And I believe that in this world, that is in the beginning today. It has problems, a lot of problems. We know this, but we have a bright future. And the Brazilian way to see the life and to see the world will have a great role in this bright new world. I have hope. have hope in this way.
That's great to hear, Comandante. It's great that you have hope, so we have hope as well. And we have seen too recently the scenario of artificial intelligence was basically dominated by companies from the United States, with the most famous initiative being the ChatGPT by OpenAI. The Chinese recently have developed DeepSeek. You could say they bursted their doors open and threw money into the US's room as a great representative of you could say, the collective West, with some calling this episode a new Sputnik relating to the Soviet satellite during the Cold War. As opposed to the artificial intelligences from the United States, DeepSeek has an open code and proposes to be free to use and free to distribute. One of the initiatives that Brazil is aiming towards is to promote an inclusive governance of artificial intelligence to the development of this promising tool. In your vision, how the nations of the BRICS can collaborate to establish the directions and the guidance that really are beneficial to the EI and to distribute in an equivalent form among the members of the BRICS?
Well, you have to see the artificial intelligence is only in the beginning. In the future, you will see the Russian AI, the Indian AI, the Iranian AI, the Indonesian AI, the Brazilian AI. Each country will develop his artificial intelligence, and it's very good. Well, I believe we're going to a world where you don't have the hegemony of technology or a company. I believe in 10 years, Amazon will not be of the size. There will be concurrents. China is going to be behind Amazon, and they will be ahead of Amazon. Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Google, they will not maintain their hegemony for a lot of years because it's a world that has a lot of concurrence. So, well, what I believe that will be in the future, you will have companies that will be in a lot of countries. It will not change, but they will not have the size and the influence that they have today. I think, and they know this, and they know. Apple knows this. Amazon knows this. They know that the sun is dawning. But the question is, in a particular case of Brazil, we are making efforts in this way. I don't see this. The question for Brazil is we don't invest in technology. We don't put money in technology. In Brazil, people has a bad view of the things. They believe that no, the government doesn't have to fund the investments in technology. Well, government needs to support the development of the country. You see what's happening in China. Government puts a lot of money in all the industries. The car industries in China, the automobile industry in China is biggest than Germany because the Chinese government puts a lot of money in these industries. So, in the particular case of Brazil, I believe that the problem is this. But to resume the situation, I believe that this new world will not you will not see the hegemony of the great companies that are in the power today, and that are the companies that support the election of Donald Trump. But I believe their empire is going to down.
Comandante, it's interesting to hear what you have to say. And still talking about AI, I was talking with my mother, and she's a 60-year-old lady. but she's very interested in AI, and she asked me a lot of questions about AI and something, and she was talking about, oh, this new Chinese AI. I don't know much about this topic. Could you explain me, and so on? And that's the role of true journalists, to explain things to people that don't understand or don't know, and to make it easy for people to understand. So I was explaining to my mother that it's what DeepSeek did by this open source initiative was to like present us a recipe of their cake. So you already have the recipe and you can use it, or you can do another recipe by this own recipe, but you don't need to come up with something from scratch. So Brazil could use this Chinese initiative like in DeepSeek and make our own breakthrough in AI if the government is willing to do it, because it's open source. So we just need to take the recipe and do our own dish if you want, or just do a similar dish but with our special pepper, let's say like that.
Well, as I said for you, the question is a mindset. The people in Brazil, they are indoctrinated to think that government doesn't have to give money to research, to development. It's wrong. It's all wrong. This all development is made by a huge government support. Uh, you see, in the United States, the internet just goes ahead because the Pentagon puts a lot of money in the sector of the industry. But you have to see AI as a hardware to help us to make a lot of jobs, a lot of tasks. But my great concern is about the jobs, the employees, because we have to be very careful to AI don't kill all the employees. AI is killing a lot of employees. It's a truth. You see this in all the professions. So the question for Brazil is the same. We have to change our mindset in the case of support of government. But well, there's a problem in Brazil that nobody talks. That the debt. A lot of our budget goes to the banks. Nobody in the Congress say that. The lawyers never say that. Never. It's a taboo. So when you have 50% of the budget going to banks, you never have money to invest in education, in health, in safety, in security, in public security, and in research, and a lot of things. So you have a lot of problems. You have to change this mentality, to change this mindset. And you have to investigate where is going 50% of our budget. Nobody talks about this, but there are a lot of studies in this way showing that the banks are partner of our budgets.
Comandante, we are approaching the end of our conversation, and I would like to ask you a short question that requires a short answer. Where do you see Brazil and BRICS in 10 years? How is your vision about this scenario?
I think BRICS is the future. The history will not uh, goes to here. No, I think we just go ahead. There is no other way. But the problem for Brazil is, as I said for you, we're not, a lot of persons in Brazil, a lot of authorities, the Brazilian elite is not understanding what's happening. That we are going to a new world and we don't have a plan. What's the plan of Brazil? What's the plan? In 20 years, we lost a lot of in the industries. So we have to set a plan to live in this new world. And I believe that the work that you make in your in BRIC things is in Think BRICS is very important to Brazilian people understand the world that is ahead and all the things we need to do to have our portion, our piece of progress.
Comandante, thank you very much for the interview. Thank you very much for taking part in our channel. You are more than welcome to come back here anytime you want to talk with us again. And anyway, I would like to thank you again and also say to our audience, thank you for listening, for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends, and also comment it down here. We always appreciate your comments and we read them. That's it. See you in our next interview. Thank you all again.
Thank you.